Well, hello there and welcome back to this next episode of this F1 2019 Alfa Romeo career mode. We're at round 7 at the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada. A track that I'm sort of fairly average at, to be honest with you, but it's nice to get Monaco over and done with, and we can actually get to some proper tracks now where the barriers are not that close to the circuit. So we've got 4 messages then. The goals update, we've got a new one, qualify 15th or better. We've got 2 weekends to do that here, and I believe France will be round 8, and if we qualify 15th or better, then we get 400 resource points. The weekend preview, morning everyone, I've attached a preview for this weekend's Grand Prix. If you have any questions, come see me in the data centre. Development failures, okay, so good news and bad news then by the looks of it. The rear downforce has come in, the front downforce has failed, so obviously we'll look to get that done as soon as possible and get it on the car for next week. The weather forecast then, dry in qualifying with a bit of cloud, nice and sunny in the race. So then obviously as our contract and our rival page, which is very crucial this weekend against Raikkonen, and our driver details as well, nothing too fantastic there. 955 miles driven, 280 laps, average finish of 11th, average grid of 13th, not too bad for the Alfa Romeo team. So research and development then. So we've had 1 failure, the front wing. We've had 1 successful upgrade, the rear wing. So we'll get the front wing automatically done. We'll do it here and now. So this is a redo attempt. If it fails first time, then you pay half price. Second time around, and it only ever takes 1 week, whether it is a minor, major or an ultimate upgrade. So we'll automatically now have that on the car going into France. Just looking there as well as it stands are the... Let's have a look there. What's going on? So if that does come in, that means then that our aerodynamic department is, well, it will be ahead of Williams, so that's quite good to see. Yeah, so let's have a look. Anything else? No, we'll save all this until after the episode. So obviously there, if you look down the bottom, we've now jumped ahead of Toro Rosso with that first major upgrade, and the second one will come in as well, so you can see they're in development, and it will be here for France. Other upgrades, Mercedes and Ferrari had another upgrade, and now bridging the gap a little bit to Red Bull. Haas have had a big upgrade. They've now jumped ahead of Renault. Force India, ourselves, Toro Rosso and Williams. So quite a few teams there bringing upgrades to Canada. Still very close there in the midfield as you would expect. Vehicle management then, we'll go straight on to units number 2. At the end of the previous episode, I did say that units number 1 will be used in FP3 solely, just to do a few laps and a practice program if we still have 1 left. So it's brand new units then, 0%, and the gearbox at 12% for FP1 and FP2, and 10% for FP3 onwards as well. So at this stage then, they're similar to the first race of the season, pretty much brand new units on the car, apart from the gearboxes, it's got a little bit of wear. And so we'll have a real gauge now of where our overall pace is compared to all the other cars as well. So of course I'll go and do FP1 and FP2 off camera, and I'll be back with you guys very shortly for a quick summary of the 2 sessions, and then we'll crack on with FP3 and the qualifying session. So FP1 and FP2 is all and completed, and yeah, it's pretty good so far. I'm pretty happy with how things are going. We seem to be on the pace. We're comfortably within the midfield. We've been spending most of our time on either the hard or medium tyres, trying to get a gauge for maybe a 1-stop strategy, but I'm thinking we might have the pace to get inside the top 10 on the soft tyres and go for a 2-stop strategy. The thinking behind it is it's a relatively short pit lane here. You don't lose as much time on a track as you do at, say, most of the other circuits. The reason for that is you barrel into the pit lane coming into the final chicane and then slam on the brakes for the limiter, and then when you come out of the pit lane, take the limiter off, you completely bypass turn 1 and you arrive on the exit on the outside of turn 2, so you're skipping out turn 1 completely, unlike at most other circuits where you join before turn 1 or you join sort of afterwards, but the pit lane is quite slow, so you don't lose too much time. It'll be interesting once we're on the grid for the race in the next episode, you know, what the difference between 1 and a 2-stop strategy is. I don't think it's very much. It could be very, very level, and depending where we qualify as well, if we have a good qualifying and we're up sort of near the top-ish sort of thing, you know, inside the top 10, then a 2-stop strategy could be very profitable for us, especially if we've got good top-end speed, which we have here. We're hitting 198, 99 mile an hour, and it should make overtaking fairly, you know, okay for us because of our places to overtake. For FP1 and FP2, well, FP1 was a bit rain delayed, well, not rain delayed, but rain hit halfway through the session. We had sort of a little sort of 8-9 minute rain shower, which sort of killed any dry running for about 15-16 minutes, but we did a couple of practice programs in both of the sessions, got purple in all of them as well. In FP1 we was running the new units to bed them in a sort of little bit. You can see there 13 laps we completed. And then we used units number 1 in FP2 to get some of the easier practice programs done. The fuel one and the ERS one is always quite fairly easy to do. You've got to push a little bit and you've got to be, you know, a bit savvy with what you're doing. But we managed to get them purple, probably I think second try both of them, to be honest. In FP1 we did the track acclimatisation in the tyre wear program, so I've got either the practice qualifying or the race strategy one to do left in FP3. So we'll change over to units number, is it units number 2? Yeah, because we used to use number 4 elsewhere. So we're on to units number 2 now, specifically for FP3 qualifying and the race, and FP1 will be used in the early practice sessions. As for the gearbox, obviously we're on to a new unit now. I've got a new one at Monaco, as well as all the other new units, if you remember. So at 10% already, coming into the second weekend, so the gearbox wear is pretty good on that. And like I said, we shouldn't have too many issues with getting things done. Other than that, we're up to 21, nearly 2,200 resource points. Things are looking good. We can certainly do some more upgrades after this race. Probably looking... because we've got this one coming in France, which is next episode, and then you can probably do a double major upgrade on the chassis and the powertrain department. That will cost us, I think, just over 1,000 each, so we'll have about 300 and change, 400 resource points in change. I could just save it for a little while and maybe just max out a couple of more of the minor upgrades for the aerodynamic department, or again look at the durability. A little bit more work needs doing up there for a few of the units, mainly gearbox, ICE and the MGU H&K units, because they're taking quite a bit. Turbo as well needs a bit of work. We need to get that sorted out sooner rather than later. So well, it depends, you know, how I feel after the race and how many resource points we got. We might do a, you know, maybe just one major upgrade and something on the durability, or just go both. It doesn't really matter at the moment. So yeah, that's it then. That's FP1 and FP2 all rounded up. So we go to grid now to do FP3. So in the garage at the beginning of FP3, just a 30-minute session. Weather looks overcast but should be dry. Same for qualifying, in the race to be nice and sunny as well. Yeah, we'll go and do the qualifying pace one, because we've got one more objective to beat, get a fast sector 1, and if we do that and get purple in qualifying pace, I think it might only be the second time this season that we would have maxed out the resource points. It's usually 325, but on the left hand side there, the R&D objective, an extra 10 resource points for completing a downforce objective with the major upgrade on the aero department. So Jeff has shut up. We'll do the qualifying pace program. We've got 2 sets of soft tyres left over, so we can have 2 attempts at this if we really need to. So we'll do a drive out of the pits, do a slow out lap, I should say, to save the tyres. Setup I've chosen, which I'll go into in the beginning of qualifying, is to try and reduce the tyre wear on the rears, because you do use them quite a lot in the low to medium, or coming out of the low to medium speed corners. There's a lot of change of direction as well, a lot of left rights, right lefts, so it does put excessive wear on the tyres, but I'll explain all that once we go into qualifying. So just coming out of the pits now, and you see there, look, we're joining the track on the exit of turn 2, so we completely bypass turn 1, turn the ERS off basically to save as much as we can. So something that I thought might have been taken out of the game, but it is still definitely in there according to some people that I do actually listen to about this game. The ERS mode on 2018 worked sort of almost a bit weird, where obviously you've got 5 levels, obviously 0 all the way up to number 4. In fact, we've got 6 levels all the way up to number 5, which is hot lap mode. If you, as we almost crashed into the wall because I didn't change gears. As soon as you hit 6th gear, or as soon as you hit 7th gear, put the ERS into overtake mode, mode number 4, and only use mode number 5 for gears 1 to 6. This is basically hot lapping, because it's quicker to be in the top gears to be in ERS mode 4. So I'll try and remember that going into qualifying. And this is the qualifying program, and we're off to a pretty bad start, to be honest with you. Managed to claw it back though, and we've completed the fast sector 1. Oh, that was a mess, wasn't it? An absolute mess. And we've run out of ERS as well. This is going to be a struggle. So a bit of a scrappy dud soft lap there. Admittedly, you know, we was using rich fuel mix and higher ERS modes. We still managed to somehow set the 13th fastest time, which is slightly surprising. We could certainly have gone a lot quicker than that. I'm confident we can get inside the top 10 as long as we nail qualifying. So that's exactly what we'll go and try to do. So the resource points in for FP3, it'll only be about 40 odd, I think. 50. Oh well, every little helps. Now over 2200. Reputation there stays the same by the looks of it, but it's pretty high, as you can see, with Alfa Romeo. I want to stay with Alfa Romeo for as long as possible, to be honest. I think we'll have the option at some point to go to Ferrari. In fact, we can pretty much sign with every team, or any team we want to, when we get a contract renegotiation. Obviously, it just means that if we did move another team, all the hard work we've done to develop the car and understand the car and the handling as well will go to waste, because obviously we'll move to a new team and it'll be all fresh again to go. So respect level going up again a little bit more. I think on F1 2018 he's pretty much a veteran going into the beginning of the second season. I think it's going to take a few more seasons here, but you can see we're slowly starting to work on the sportsmanship side of things as well. There's obviously a visible gap there between the middle and the top of the sportsmanship. So that is FP3 all done in. We've got a few messages obviously to read. One from Emma about the upcoming session, weather forecast from Jeff, and then some track notes as well. So we'll go to qualifying. We'll run the soft tyres. I think that the two-stop strategy shouldn't be too much different from the one-stop. And there's plenty of places to overtake on this circuit as well, as long as we're a bit gutsy with it, of course, against the AI. So we'll go to qualifying. We'll do our running strictly on the soft tyres. Well, I might do the first one on the mediums, but I've got to be careful because we'll only get one set in the race, and I'd rather go soft, medium, medium. I think that's a possible strategy we can do, so I might very well just stick to going on the soft tyres. But we'll go to qualifying and we'll see what we can do.
Welcome again then, and we hope you're ready for another fantastic session as the teams prepare to unleash their cars for qualifying at the Canadian Grand Prix. The competition is certainly heating up as we head into today's qualifying. Some impressive times showing up during the previous practice sessions. Anthony Davidson, do you think we can expect a similar level of skill to be showcased during today's qualifier?
Well, I certainly hope so. The competition here is extremely tight, and I think we might see some very close times today. Remember, practice isn't just about fastest lap times though. It's about optimization, it's about ratifying your decisions. No one's going to be sweating small mistakes here and there, but in qualifying that all changes. You need to nail that perfect lap or face the consequences, and believe me, that's a lot of pressure.
So then in the garage, quick check on the weather going into the 15-minute bracket, just to see if there's any rain towards the end of the session. It could affect times. No, just a little bit overcast. The track temp is the air temp's going up a little bit, and so does the track temp as well. So that's fine then. So obviously these are medium. These are we've returned these tyres, so we have a set of mediums and hards for the race. And if we save a set of softs, we can go soft, maybe medium, depending on how the tyre wear is.
Handles is all about weight transfer. When you brake, the centre of mass moves forward. When you accelerate, it moves rearward. And when you turn, it is pushed to the outside of the car. More load on each tyre equals more grip. So make sure you're smooth with the controls to prevent the weight transfer from becoming too violent.
Yeah, weight transfer obviously a massive thing in F1, with it being rear-engined, rear-wheel driven as well. No ballast obviously on the setup. And talking about the setup as well, might as well talk about it then. So we'll drain the fuel out, because I'm going to be doing one runs every now and again. 6.7 on the wings, feels quite stable. Transmission 80-80, suspension geometry, 2 clicks to the right on the camber, 2 clicks to the left on the toes. Suspension 665734, setup that I'm very familiar with at other circuits. Brakes 8557 for the pressure and the bias. The tyres then, 2 clicks to the right on the front and 3 clicks to the left on the rear to try and keep the rear temperatures down, like I said, in the low to medium speed corners and the various change of directions that we do quickly on this lap as well can sometimes bring the tyre temperatures a bit too high on the rears. Initial running on the medium and hard tyres, the rears do burn up a little quicker, but not as extreme as it has been at other circuits. So that is the setup. We've got, I believe, a set of soft tyres already on the car. So as you can see there, the track is now starting to fill up, so we might as well go out there and join them on circuit.
Everyone ready? Okay, let's go.
So tyre blanket's being disconnected and taken off. Up goes the monitor, off of the jacks. Chief engineer out into the pit lane. Hand up, don't go, don't go, don't go, don't go. Go now. And we're out into the pit lane. We'll save the fuel. Save our ERS. And now immediately out on track. So our first and only sort of hot lap on these soft tyres was what you just saw a few minutes ago, which is a bit scrappy. I was kind of talking through it as well and didn't really set myself up properly for it. So this time full concentration is needed. So we're now getting into the business end of the race weekend, qualifying. Points and prizes aren't handed out in this session, but you can certainly put one foot on a positive result with a good performance here. Leclerc coming in provisional pole with a 1 minute, I don't know what, I wasn't paying attention. We've got a Force India behind me, so we'll just move over to the right hand side. Stroll, that is home event. You'll be hoping for a point or two. He's been quite strong actually in the 2 practice sessions he did off camera, as Hamilton now goes faster to the 10.542. He was inside the top 10 in both sessions. This would be a good idea as well when we're going down this straight on our hot lap in about 1 minute and 20 seconds time. It'll be interesting to see as, oh wow, look at that, we've clicked, wow, okay,
Mind that front wing. It'll need replacing if it takes too much damage.
that's what I mean when I'm chatting whilst trying to set myself up. And I've got a Ferrari coming up this. Well, this lap's completely buggered then, isn't it, really? I've got a Ferrari trying to fight for position and I've damaged the front wing, so we're straight back in the pits at the end of this lap then, because this lap is now completely ruined. And I've got to stop my talking before we start the lap. I need to get full concentrating mode. So just under 12 minutes left of the session.
154.8 miles per hour.
Well, of course we're last in the speed trap. I wasn't even trying when we went over the speed trap detection point. So yeah, we haven't set a lap time yet. Grosjean on the last at the moment in a 13.0. We did a 13.4, was it? 13.3, a very scrappy 13.3 in FP3. We can certainly get into the mid-12s, I feel, which is actually a bit off the pace. So we might really have to try here if we're going to set lap times. 10.5 I don't think really is something that we can achieve, but we'll bolt on a second set then of soft tyres. We ruined the first. We could run them again, but it's completely pointless. They only last 13 laps as it is anyway. So then we'll go out again, and this time we'll actually get into concentration mode.
Stand clear. We're ready to go.
One thing I wanted to do, and I can't remember if I mentioned it on the first lap, was when I do come down that back straight on my hot lap, see if we lose time or anything like that. Oh my god. What am I doing? What am I doing? This is absolutely ridiculous. As soon as I start talking, my concentration just flies out the window. I have absolutely no idea what is going on. I haven't hit the wall all weekend. I haven't even come close to hitting the wall all weekend. Right, we're straight back in the pits at the end of this lap then to save these tyres. We'll go out again almost immediately once we've had another front wing to set our first lap on these tyres, because I don't want to leave it until right at the very end of the session on just one flying lap. And I think when I do come out, I'm just going to go into shut up mode and get this car focused and concentrated, and get myself focused and concentrated at the same time. So we'll come back into the pits now, and I'll see you guys on the out lap very soon. It's just been a bit of a silly session so far, hasn't it, really? But here we are then, on our out lap. This is the second set of tyres, the ones that we just had on. Right, let's focus. It's 12.616, and I'm getting something really bad on my pad. I don't know what it is, but the in the second sector after the first DRS sign, if you like, where we've got the right left, as soon as I get to that bridge, the car's pulling to the left like it's some lag input or something like that, and it's quite unsettling and quite unnerving, especially as soon as it starts to do it. I'm already, you know, about to start braking for the corner and the car's sort of pivoting off to the left, which really isn't helpful. And the other problem we've got as well is we're now falling all the way down to 19th place. There's only, by the time we get back to the pits, it's going to be 3 minutes left, so we've got to be quick here. We're down in 19th place. This, it's just falling apart. 2.5 minutes left of the session. We're going to have to go on to a third set of soft tyres. Fuel load is out. Our time, then. Let's look at our time. Wow, and Perez, for whatever reason, hasn't set that to. We are. How slow are we? That is absolutely ridiculous. We lost a lot of time in sector 2.
Our fastest lap is a 1 minute 12.6.
Right, we need well, we need to improve by about best part of a second here. Okay then, we're going out again. This is it.
We're ready.
This has been a mess of qualifying so far. We've lost so much track time on these soft tyres. I can just feel I'm still not fully focused. I do not want to be down in 19th place. That is a joke. Okay, I've created a bit of a gap for myself. We should cross the line in plenty of time. Here we go. The pace has gone. The pace has completely gone, and I don't know why. We was on the pace well solidly within the midfield, and I genuinely thought we had an opportunity to get inside the top 10. But as you can see there, we're not even in the top 14. That's the grid. I don't really want to go through it. I just want to show you the absolute disappointment and heartache we've done. We are last. 3 thousandths away from Lando Norris, but we are last. And that's the first time I think this season, apart from Bahrain where we crashed out of and we wouldn't have been last there, that we have legitimately been the slowest car out there. I don't know where the performance has gone all of a sudden. I really am confused by it. I've got to go away and check maybe I mean, I'm pretty sure we put on the fresh units as well. If I go back and find out we're still in units number 1, I'm going to be massively disappointed, but I genuinely don't think we are. We're going to be lining up, unless there's penalties just ahead of us, in last place, and that is a major disappointment. I have no idea what has gone on here. So the rivalry breakdown, this is not good, especially against Raikkonen as well. We've got to do something here in the race to make sure that we at least draw even, because we're not going to beat him at this point. We're still comfortably ahead of Russell, but we might be losing this rivalry against Raikkonen, which is a major disappointment. The resource points in for qualifying, this will be low, very, very low. Only 60. Only 60. We're not even over 2300. Reputation went up with a few teams, but it stayed the same for Alfa Romeo. Same for the respect level as well.
Tough luck there. It's not quite where we'd want to be on the grid, but chin up, it's not the end of the world.
No, it really isn't the end of the world then. So we've got just one message then, a pre-race note from Jeff. You know how I usually advise caution on lap 1, don't throw away everyone's hard work with needless heroics and all that. Well, let's go for some heroics this time. Brake late, be brave, fight as hard as you can. You and I are both competitive people, and sometimes that means being aggressive, taking risks, going for any gap that exists, right? That's a driver I want to see today. Give me 100% and have a great race. Yeah, this is going to be... Yeah, I'm baffled. Yeah, granted, qualifying was a bit of a shit show. I spent too much time talking rather than focusing. So I think we're going to have to do less talking in the race and really focus to make this race now a positive result for ourselves, because we are in danger here of putting an embarrassing performance in. But that's something that we'll think about in the next episode. But for this episode now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you for the race and the next episode very soon.